Breaking news from the White House. The president says he and the First Lady tested positive for COVID-19. We are live working to find out how they are feeling this morning. The state's largest school district accused of mishandling your tax dollars. What a state audit found about Epic charter schools. A big employer pulling out of McAllister. Why Spirit Aerosystems is closing and where those jobs are going now.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Lynn. The time now is 4:30. Breaking news overnight. President Trump announced on Twitter he and the First Lady tested positive for COVID-19. We're working to find out how they're doing now. We'll stay on this big story with live updates for you all morning. But first, meteorologist Michael Sager is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking the chilliest temperatures we have seen so far this season. Grab the jacket, maybe even the coat.
It is a chilly start for a lot of us this morning. We've got
breaking news. The president and First Lady have both tested positive for COVID-19. While you were sleeping, President Trump announced the news on Twitter. Here's a look. You can see he says, quote, "We will get through this together." Fox 23's Naomi Kitt is live in studio with what led up to this diagnosis.
Michelle, you'll remember we reported Thursday when one of President Trump's closest aides, Hope Hicks, tested positive for COVID-19. The president and First Lady announced their confirmed cases just hours later overnight. The president tweeting he and First Lady Melania are in quarantine. They're recovering right now. The president's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, says President Trump will continue carrying out his duties without disruption while he recovers from the virus. It comes as more than 7 million people across the country have contracted the coronavirus, and more than 206,000 people have died. We've reported how the president has downplayed both mask wearing and social distancing, holding large rallies across the country, including right here in Tulsa. We know the White House started a daily testing regimen for the president's senior aides and anyone who comes in close contact with the commander-in-chief.
So the entire staff who traveled with the president this week should be quarantining for 14 days. The president of the United States should be quarantining for 14 days. Important for the continuity of government is that the president and vice president should not be together now for 14 days to prevent both the president and the vice president from contracting the virus.
At this point, there are no reports that the president is seriously ill, just in quarantine right now with his wife. In the next half hour, we'll have response from the First Lady and the Vice President. I'm putting that part of the story together for you at 5. Reporting live in studio, covering news that matters, I'm Naomi Kitt, Fox 23 News.
Thank you, Naomi. Such a big story this morning. Now let's take a look at the latest numbers from the Oklahoma State Department of Health. Thursday, the state announced more than 1,100 new cases, bringing our state's total since March to more than 88,000. We lost 4 more Oklahomans to the virus, bringing the death toll to 1,035. One of the newly reported deaths was a Muskogee County woman who was 65 or older. All kids 10 and older have to wear face masks in Tulsa now. We were live on this story all morning yesterday, telling you the city council voted unanimously to expand the mask mandate. Mayor G.T. Bynum signed the ordinance. Experts say this is needed because statewide data shows increasing COVID-19 cases in teenagers and children. The face mask mandate in Tulsa is now in effect until January 31st. Owasso Public Schools are now posting their coronavirus cases and the number of people in quarantine. They released this information on the district's website Thursday. They tell us they'll update it daily. It shows out of 9,000 students and staff, they have 12 cases. That includes 2 elementary students, 6 secondary students, and 4 staff members. The district also reports more than 200 people are in quarantine because of close contact with a positive case. They say this does not mean they were exposed at school. American Airlines announced furloughs for tens of thousands of workers nationwide. We told you 170 employees lost their jobs right here at the maintenance base in Tulsa. Many took an early retirement option. This follows the huge drop in air travel because of the pandemic. The union president told us he's been forced to have some difficult conversations with workers over the last few days.
It's very hard to even talk about these guys. Their whole life, their kids, everything is being impacted.
American Airlines corporate leaders say they'll bring everyone who was furloughed back to work if lawmakers in Washington approve more emergency funding. Right now, there's legislation in the House that could protect jobs through March. 4:35 in a developing story, an audit reveals millions of taxpayer dollars were being misused by an Oklahoma charter school. Fox 23's Amanda Gilbert is live with what prompted the investigation into Epic. Yeah.
Michelle, Epic Charter Schools has grown to become Oklahoma. I'm working on that for the next half hour. Covering news that matters. I'm Amanda Gilbert, Fox 23 News.
This morning, one of two escaped inmates is still on the loose, and Miami schools will be doing virtual learning again today. We brought you breaking news right here Thursday morning when Miami schools went to distance learning because these two men got out of the Ottawa County Jail. Investigators found Justin Eby within a couple of hours, but this morning, Jerry Nichols is still out there. One woman told us she knows Justin Eby, and he's like her son.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And some mistake, the last thing he done was very wrong. But it doesn't make him a bad person.
Officials say Jerry Nichols is considered armed and dangerous. If you spot him, call 911. A Claremore shelter and the Rogers County Sheriff's Office announced a donation for the families of two Tulsa police officers shot in the line of duty. Officer Arash Zarkashan and Sergeant Craig Johnson, we've told you, were shot during a traffic stop in June. The business is called Survivor Shelters. They installed and presented this storm shelter to the winner who lives in Chelsea. He bought raffle tickets to win. He says he didn't expect to win. He just wanted to help the families.
People need to realize that police are people too, you know, and no matter what happens to them, they're still just people. And so their families need help when something happens and things like that. So we want to support a great cause.
Whatever change that they had on them, and it just kept adding up and just kept adding up. And it was just amazing to see the community just give.
In less than 2 months, they raised more than $12,000 for the Tulsa Fraternal Order of Police Benevolent Fund. 100% of that money goes to help the officers and their families. Chilly temperatures out there this morning, the coldest we've been so far this season. You may want the coat. I tried to be tough, Michael. I told you I tried not to wear a jacket, but I did wear pants and not a dress today. It's cold this morning.
It is chilly. I actually went by without the jacket, too. Just got a little short walk from the car to the studio. We'll take you through the rain chances tomorrow and a look at a warm-up on the way next week in about 10 minutes.
The time now is 4:40. A big employer shutting its doors in McAllister, the latest business hit by the pandemic and where those jobs are going now. Helping restaurants hit by the pandemic. The big event this weekend the governor is backing and how it could help a local restaurant owner.
He just came to me one day and said, "Mom, I want to do a lemonade stand. I want to raise money," and it just snowballed from there.
A green country cowboy who wanted to give back. We've got how much money his lemonade stand raised. 4:43 in a developing story, dozens of Spirit Aerosystems employees may be looking for new jobs. We told you the company announced it's closing its McAllister plant. Fox 23 Scott Martin is live with why that city's mayor is shocked by the announcement.
Yeah, Michelle, Mayor John Brown says he was blindsided by this. We're live in Tulsa this morning covering news that matters. I'm Scott Martin, Fox 23 News.
4:44, Governor Stitt is asking you not to cook this weekend. I'm going to do what he says. We told you today and tomorrow are part of Oklahoma Restaurant Days. We spoke with the owner of the Cardinal Club in South Tulsa. It's a fine dining restaurant. It opened its doors in February, then was forced to close just 5 weeks later. The owner says the pandemic obviously impacts their finances now, but also makes it hard to plan for the future. Seeing more business this weekend will help.
Just that first day, May 1st, whenever we reopened and we were able to see people back through the door, it did. I mean, I don't even remember what sales were that day, but I remember everybody that came in. I remember what the reservation book looked like. You know, that was the stuff like, finally, there's a sense of normalcy a little bit at least.
Restaurant Days runs through tomorrow. Tulsa's Philbrook Museum of Art is reopened to the public now. We followed their pandemic-caused closing and then the museum's gradual reopening in phases over the last few weeks. Members have been able to visit all parts of the museum, but Thursday, everyone was invited back.
It just feels so good to be back, have a little slice of normalcy, and be able to share and have a place that people can relax, they can be inspired, they can come gather together, bring their family, go for a walk out in the gardens, or come in and learn something in the galleries.
Daily tickets are limited, so you need to schedule your visit. You can do that by visiting the museum's website. We've made it super easy for you. You'll find a link in this story right now on the Fox 23 News app. At 4:46, a Green Country boy and his family wanted to help after 2 Tulsa police officers were shot in the line of duty. 8-year-old Bo Lee told his mom he wanted to set up a lemonade stand in South Coffeyville, and he wasn't going to keep any of the money. He wanted it all to go to Officer Arash Sarkishan and Sergeant Craig Johnson's family. Bo says the tragedy hit close to home. His dad is a Rogers County Sheriff's deputy.
You didn't want any of that money?
No, I wanted to give it all to them. It felt good. It felt good.
Oh, so sweet, so good to see. Bo and his family handed over a check Thursday. Every penny goes to the Fraternal Order of Police Benevolent Fund, which supports fallen and injured officers and their families. What a doll. That is just the sweetest thing ever. Of course, he made a lot of money selling lemonade on a hot day. Today, you might make a lot of money selling hot chocolate or coffee. It's cold this morning. Meteorologist Michael Sager is in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking the chilliest temperatures we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, a lot of us are down to the 30s across parts of northeast Oklahoma. But kids will need heading out to the bus stop this morning in about 10 minutes.
4:49 is the time. This morning we're hearing from Senator James Lankford why he says a vote on a new Supreme Court justice should not be delayed, and his feelings on whether Roe versus Wade could be overturned. More of us have been taking road trips during the pandemic. The fun new way your family can explore Route 66 right here in Tulsa.
We had hypothesized that maybe during this time of crisis, mental health symptoms would increase. But surprisingly, we don't find that.
I talked with experts right here in Tulsa, taking a closer look at coronavirus and mental health, how this study could help them better understand depression and anxiety. At 4:53, there's a fun new way for your family to enjoy the Mother Road. Check this out. You can collect these Route 66 medallions. Each month, they'll be hidden at one spot in Tulsa and at a business or location somewhere along Route 66.
You can hunt as an individual, you can hunt as a team, you can hunt against your friend, however you want to look for those medallions.
You can sign up right now. Just go to motherroadmarket.com/66hunt. Then you can sign up for the weekly Mother Road Market newsletter. That web address is on your screen now. This is so fun. That's also where you'll find clues each week. I love that idea. The Fox 23 Severe Weather Team is tracking a chilly start. Here's a live look from the Fox 23 Skyview Network. Very pretty, and as you know, sunrise happens later, so it'll be a while until the sun comes up and starts to try to warm us up. Temperatures in the 40s. Right now is a great time to download the free Fox 23 weather app. With it, you'll have the forecast at your fingertips, so you always know what to expect in the days ahead. At 4:55, an Oklahoma man hit with several health issues, including COVID-19, was determined to see his daughter walk down the aisle. Ron Cruz suffered 2 strokes this year. Then he was diagnosed with coronavirus. He spent 2 weeks on a ventilator and came to Tulsa for treatment. His goal was to be well enough to see her tie the knot.
Oh, it's great. My only daughter. And it was good to be able to walk her down the aisle.
Wow, can you even imagine? This is their father-daughter dance to the song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Thank goodness he's recovering. The time now, 4:55. Breaking news. President Trump announces he has coronavirus. We are live working to find out how he's feeling this morning and what this means for his campaign. A state audit released the findings about how Epic charter schools handle your tax dollars.
Live look outside. We've got a clear sky this morning and chilly temperatures as you are heading out the door. What kids will need heading out to the bus stop on this Friday in about 3 minutes.